What if you could make things better, faster, and with almost zero waste? Well, that's the quest for perfection that totally transformed modern manufacturing. And to really get it, we need to unpack three powerful interconnected ideas: TQM, Kaizen, and JIT.
I mean, this is the question at the heart of it all, isn't it? How can you make things with less time, effort, and waste? It's the puzzle that drove a massive revolution in how we make, well, everything. And the answer lies in the philosophies we're about to explore.
So, to answer that big question, we've got to start with the philosophy that put quality back into everyone's hands.
Our journey really kicks off in the 1980s with this hugely popular idea called total quality management, or TQM for short. And this was like the first major building block in our story of creating a much more efficient, higher quality system.
So, what exactly is TQM? You know, at its core, it's a pretty radical idea. Quality isn't just the job of some inspector at the very end of the line. No, it's the responsibility of everyone, from the CEO all the way down to the person on the factory floor. And here's how it actually worked in the real world. TQM introduced things like quality circles, where the workers themselves would get together and brainstorm improvements. This was a really groundbreaking form of empowerment, giving employees a real voice, not just a set of orders to follow.
Okay, so what's the philosophy that really powers this commitment to gradual, constant improvement? Well, this is where Kaizen comes into the picture.
You see, this whole idea of making things just a little bit better every single day, it isn't random. It has a name.
And that name is Kaizen, which is the Japanese term for continuous improvement. You could almost think of it as the engine that drives TQM. It's this core belief that huge results don't come from one giant leap, but from countless small steps forward, day in and day out.
So where do all these brilliant improvements come from? Not a boardroom, that's for sure. The concept of Gemba says you have to go to the real place, the factory floor. Why? Because the people actually doing the work are the true experts on how to make it better. It's that simple.
Okay, so we've got a management approach, TQM, and we have a mindset for continuous improvement, Kaizen. But, just empowering people to find problems isn't enough. You need a system that almost automatically exposes those problems. And that system is just-in-time production.
This system is called just-in-time, or JIT. The idea is so simple but absolutely revolutionary. Instead of building up these huge piles of parts, you make or receive components only as they are needed. The goal here is to eliminate waste in every single form, especially the waste of just waiting around and storing stuff.
And here you can really see the night and day difference in thinking. The old way meant big batches and huge stockpiles where a bad part could get buried for weeks. But with JIT's continuous flow and minimal stock, problems pop up immediately, and guess what? They have to be fixed right then and there.
This whole thing creates an incredibly efficient production flow. I mean, by minimizing stocks and making sure parts arrive only when needed, the entire line becomes one logical, continuous process. The pressure is really on to get it right first time, because there's no buffer of extra parts to hide behind. The system pretty much demands perfection at every single step.
All right, so we've looked at the management style, the philosophy, and the production system. Now it's time to tie all these powerful building blocks together under one single unifying concept.
And that unifying concept is lean production. This is the grand synthesis, the whole shebang, the complete system for making things with the absolute minimum of time, effort, and materials. It's the umbrella that TQM and JIT live under.
So when you pull it all together, you can really see how the pieces just lock into place. The people-focused empowerment of TQM, which is fueled by the daily improvements of Kaizen, well, that's what makes a demanding system like JIT even possible. It's a virtuous cycle, right? The system reveals problems, and the culture empowers people to solve them. So here it is, the most important takeaway. TQM, Kaizen, and JIT aren't just a menu of trendy buzzwords you can pick from. They are interconnected gears. You can't really have one without the others. Together, they form a single, powerful machine for chasing perfection.
This system completely, and I mean completely, changed manufacturing in the 20th century. Which brings us to a final thought. If these principles of eliminating waste, empowering people, and continuously improving worked so well in factories, where else could we apply them today? In our offices? In how we write software? Maybe even in our own daily lives? It's a powerful question to think about.